And the 737 has been a cash cow for your business. This is a very important business. There were some headwinds in the supply chain in terms of the 737, which I want to ask you about. And I know over the recent past, you've expanded the business. You've got commercial aerospace, you've got defense, and then you've got services. Tell us how business is right now, because commercial aerospace has been driving the stock, obviously, for several years right now.
Well, aerospace is a tremendous growth business. We look out over the next 10 years. It's an $8.1 trillion marketplace. Passenger traffic is growing at about 6 to 7% per year, sustained. The world needs about 43,000 new commercial airplanes over the next 20 years. Part of that is the 737, as we've ramped up to 52 a month this year. We'll be producing at 57 a month next year. And we have had some supply chain challenges, as you pointed out, as we've been growing. But we are briskly moving through our recovery. We just announced delivery numbers for October earlier this morning. So we delivered 43 737s in October, which is an all-time record for October. And we're continuing to march smartly to our recovery plan and expect to meet our year-end targets for deliveries. This year, for the first time, we'll deliver more than 800 commercial airplanes. By the end of the decade here, we'll be delivering more than 900 airplanes a year. So you can see the tremendous growth here in commercial airplanes.
That's incredible. And I know you've got an incredible backlog as well, which will continue that delivery calendar. 1 out of 4 or 5 planes go to China in terms of your deliveries. Tell us about the importance of the business in China.
Yeah, China is very important to us. Today, about a third of our 737s go to China, about 1/4 of our overall deliveries. So if you look at that marketplace around the world, 43,000 new airplanes over the next 20 years, about 7,000 of those are in China. It's the fastest growing market segment right now. China needs that lift capability to serve their economic growth needs. So China is very interested in a healthy aerospace economy. As you know, here in the U.S. as well, there's a big advantage to a healthy aerospace ecosystem. We have about 90% of our manufacturing jobs here in the U.S., even though we export about 80% of what we build. So when you look at trade deficit versus trade surplus, aerospace is the biggest trade surplus for the U.S., about $80 billion a year. And our business is the biggest piece of that. So a mutually beneficial relationship between the U.S. and China, as it applies to trade and to aerospace, is very important.
So what happens now with this trade spat that we're having with China then? I mean, have you seen any backlash from the Chinese in terms of your business, given the fact that the president is just sitting there waiting to put another $250 billion on exports from China on tariffs, and this fight between China and the U.S. intensifies?
Well, we've been very engaged in that dialogue. As you know, this is a very important topic to us. We've been talking with the president and the U.S. administration extensively. They're very aware of the situation and the importance of aerospace. We've also had very good dialogue with Chinese leadership and our customers in China. And we're encouraged by the dialogue that's going on. I think you've seen some recent reports that President Trump and President Xi plan to meet around the G20 summit that's coming up. Some productive dialogue going on the trade front. We think both countries are interested in a mutually successful aerospace ecosystem. It's good for the economies of both countries, and here in the U.S., it's really important to U.S. manufacturing jobs. We have about 13,000 companies in our supply chain here in the U.S. that are supporting that kind of manufacturing growth. Has
your supply chain changed in any way because of your services business? I mean, you're pursuing this more aggressive strategy. Does that mean that in terms of selling a plane to somebody or business, then you want to maintain that plane as well by using the services there, but are you taking away business from the suppliers?
We actually see this as a grow the pie business, so something that we can do jointly with our suppliers. Services is our biggest single growth opportunity. When you look at that $8 trillion marketplace, it's the place where we have the biggest opportunity to further grow. We're bringing capabilities like parts distribution, maintenance and modifications, new software, digital solutions, training solutions for our customers, doing that jointly with our suppliers. To date, year to date, our services business has grown 12%. In a market that's growing about 3% a year. So it is growing strongly. And by doing this jointly with our supply chain, we can provide better life cycle value for our customers. And that's really the lens we're looking through here. Not only how do we design and build airplanes, but how do we provide value for our customers for post-production
It
support.
sounds like a natural fit. I mean,
Yes.
the commercial aerospace business has been so strong. And walk us through that for a moment, because most people don't understand the number of people who've never been on an airplane, the number of people who are perhaps in Asia who are wanting to travel. This is a big opportunity for you. So this is also an economic growth story.
It is. And Maria, you bring up a really great point. As I said earlier, traffic is growing, passenger traffic, at about 6 to 7% a year, completely outstripping GDP. And some of the things that are driving that is the upcoming middle class that for the first time ever is able to travel. So we have this unique combination of backlog, 7 years of backlog, and every year in Asia alone, 150 million people fly for the first time. Less than 20%. Less than 20% of the world's population has ever taken a single flight. So think about the growth opportunity that's still ahead of us, and we're feeding right into that with our design and production.
But here we have worries in the market, down 600 points yesterday, worries from economic worries that things are going to slow down. So where are we on that in your view? I mean, you've got interest rates rising. Obviously, when a company or country buys a plane or several planes, they are in many parts doing it by borrowing. Their borrowing costs are going up with interest rates. How much of a headwind will that be for you?
We're not seeing it affect our business. Again, we have a much longer-term view. Today, we have a backlog of almost 5,800 commercial airplanes. If you think of that in terms of production volume, it's about 7 years of backlog.
Wow.
So this gives us the opportunity to think long-term in terms of capital investment, innovation investment. And while we pay attention to things like interest rates and the financial markets, it's not something that's really affecting near-term buying behavior. You know, today we're selling 737 MAXs, filling our production skyline out in 2023 and beyond. So we have a much longer-term perspective. Aerospace is a strong, long-term growing business. It's no longer a cyclical business. This is a long-term sustained growth business.
But the competition is fierce. I mean, Airbus, can Airbus sell to European countries and companies with no tariffs? So are you disadvantaged by the tariff situation, given the fact that a European jet maker, Airbus, can do it a lot cheaper?
Well, it's something we're paying close attention to. To date, we haven't been affected materially by the tariffs, things that have affected steel and aluminum pricing. We source about 90% of our aluminum here in the U.S., so it hasn't been a dramatic effect on us. But it's something we're paying a close attention to. The bottom line is it's a very competitive marketplace because it's a very attractive marketplace. Now, we have to continue to invest to compete. We have to continue to invest to innovate. Tax reform, for example, in the U.S. has been something that has really helped us gain a level playing field globally so that we can compete and win.
How can you grow the defense business at this point? A lot of worries that defense spending needs to either be capped or cut, given the trillion-dollar deficits we're talking about every day and the debt of $21 trillion.
Yeah, we see the defense budget here in the U.S. being sustained. And if you look back a couple of years when we were in the middle of sequestration, we feel like we're in a stronger budget position now on both sides of the aisle. So we look to the U.S. defense budget to remain strong. But we also see growth around the world. Today, about a third of our defense backlog is outside of the U.S. So again, this is a very global business, and there's a lot of defense growth opportunities outside of the U.S. And I think the thing that's unique about Boeing is when we think about growth, we look across commercial, defense, and services. And we're really the only aerospace company that can bring big critical mass to all three of those sectors.
All right, we'll be watching that. Dennis, it's great to have you on the program.
Likewise.
Thank you so much. Dennis Muilenburg, CEO at Boeing.